Hello and welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be drawing some weapons. I don't know why I did that, but we're going to be drawing some weapons. Yes. I don't particularly have any weapons in mind, but yeah, let's go ahead and let's start out with a really basic sword. Because I feel like I can just come up with a really basic sword design. I have drawn many before. So, if we're going to draw a sword, we could also draw a battle axe after this too. And then maybe a spear. I don't know. I don't really draw that many spears, because I feel like I mess them up a lot. I could draw a scythe, but I also mess those up a lot too. But I could go ahead and go like that, or maybe we should go something a little more like that. But spiky these things isn't necessarily the best. You could hit yourself, but it is pretty far out, so I think it'll be fine. I guess the blade's gonna have to be short, so we're gonna have to shrink the handle probably, because I didn't draw it quite tall enough to make the blade really tall. But that's fine, we can shrink the handle. Especially since we're going to be doing this, which this little the little divot that's in those swords is actually to reduce the weight of the sword without making it like too flimsy. Alright, and the reason I'm shrinking the handle too is because swords are built to be balanced, with the center of balance near like right here ish. I don't know exactly where it is, I just know it's near that. It's so you can move it faster and it can be a very fast weapon. But if the handle's heavier, it moves the center of gravity back further, which could make it harder. I don't think I'm going to do anything with this. I think I'm just going to leave it as is, just because I was just kind of messing around. But it's also why you might see fantasy weapons with a really long handle and a really long blade. They don't exactly make a ton of sense, but they make more sense. Like most fantasy blades that are like really big. I'll try and see if I can draw one. If I were to draw like a really big, humongous fantasy blade, I'm trying to just come up with something ridiculous. If I were to draw some big giant blade like this, and then give it a handle like this, that wouldn't work at all. But if you were to give it a handle like this, it still wouldn't work, but like it'd make more sense. Still wouldn't work because it'd be too heavy for you to physically lift it, but if you were able to physically lift it, then it would technically work. Now I kind of want to draw a blade like that, what I was just doing, just because I kind of want to see if I can now. Just kind of see if I can come up with some type of design for something like this. I don't really know even what the hell this would be, or why it would look like this, but hey, that's what we were here for. We can just test shit out. Alright, give it a blade like that, which in reality a blade like that would be able to cut, but weirdly. I mean, I guess if all sides of it were sharpened, then it would be fine, but I feel like I would rather have just a regular blade if I were to do that. But also I am biased, because I just like regular swords. Alright, I still don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? No, I don't want it to connect there. I was thinking of making these like pieces of the sword somehow. Maybe I should make them just like, maybe I should add some more and make these less of a uniform shape. And like try to basically just make it look sporadic. Kinda. No, let's go ahead and erase this and try a different shape or something else. Just kind of messing around right now. I'll come back to that in a minute. I'm gonna draw go ahead and draw like a weird ass sword. Like something that probably wouldn't work. I'm kind of thinking of like the, you know, the Spider-Man logo? Something kind of like that is what I'm thinking up in my head. Alright, hold on. This isn't working. I need to draw a circle first so I can get a circle. Alright. That might be a little too big, but we can use it as a rough reference. But anyways, I'm thinking of something kind of like the Spider-Man logo. It's not a spider, but it like just reminds, I'm just thinking of that. It reminds me of that. Kind of. Alright. This could also, what I'm thinking of could also be a bow, so I might actually try drawing it as a bow too, and then it like can transform between bow and not bow, maybe. Since this is a fantasy weapon, I can have it do whatever I want. I like to have all the weapons that I create in my story be able to actually work in real life, but there is one character that just says fuck you to all that because he makes stuff with technology, and I'm not smart enough to know that stuff, so all of his stuff works on fuck you logic. It's just fuck you, this works because I say it does. Alright. So is that the handle or the blade? That's gonna be the handle. I like how I'm asking these questions. I'm the one fucking making it. Alright. I was actually gonna have that area be the blade, but I made that way too thin, so this is now going to be the blade. Now this is also still pretty thin. You know, this kind of just looks like a freaking battle axe. What if I just made this battle axe instead? That could also work. I might try doing that too. But if I were to do this as a sword, or I could even do it as like a fucking trident. Let me give it some floaty bits. Like if I were to give it more piercers things. Hold on. So that's not bad. Let me try to turn this into like a battle axe type thing. Let me grab a smaller pencil because I still forgot to sharpen that. The sharpener is literally right over there. I just keep forgetting to grab it. Alright. Now, hold on. Would this work in the real life? No, this is going to be too big and probably too intricately detailed to actually work in real life. Does that matter? No. I've actually got two characters that just say fuck you with their weapon logic. Because I got one guy that uses a scythe, and if you don't know, scythes are horrible, terrible, horrible weapons. Horrible weapons. Alright, let's go ahead and do a circle for reference purposes and a line here. Now, no. We still want to make that tall. But I want this section in the middle to look like this. That connects to the handle. I want it to look like this. And I want it to go out into another design that does this. But this one goes into handle, which will continue down because, I don't know, halberd. I guess is a halberd. Is it a halberd or halbert? I'm gonna call it halbert. I think it's a halberd, but I'm gonna say halbert because that's how I've spelled it a bunch, and I think it's funny. But I think this would technically be considered that, right? Because it's got like the spear on the end of it. I don't actually know what classifies something as a halberd or a spear or a battle axe. I don't know. I know more about swords than other weapons. and I'm not even extremely knowledgeable on swords. My knowledge on swords just consists of observation and YouTube knowledge, and very limited actual research. I guess it also consists of staring at lots of pictures of swords. Alright, hold on. If I want to make this into a battle axe needs to have a bigger surface than this. It needs to be thicker, not as thin. Because, well, think about it. You hit something with that, that's flimsy looking, right? That's gonna break. You're gonna hit a couple people, it's gonna break. It's gonna get damaged. You need something thicker than that. Something more like that, which I completely forgot I was actually drawing that too. You know, I went into this thinking I was going to be drawing swords. I drew one sword, and it was very quickly and immediately moved on to drawing a bunch of bullshit weapons. Alright. You can kind of tell that that's inspired by that, but it doesn't look as good as I wanted it to. What if I want to do this more like I did with that one? Take it, go out, curve it, but not too much. Take this up, there we go. That's looking better. Get that, go like that, then like that, and there we go. Boom. Alright, that's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. Alright. Let me erase some of it to make it a little thinner, a little more how I like it, and yeah, I like that one. This one's, you know what, I just realized I haven't used this eraser in so long, because it has like no eraser in it. I've been afraid to use all of the eraser. But also I've been doing a lot of drawings where I've been like, don't erase as little as I can. Which I honestly think doing that is pretty good. Because doing that was making me get caught in the details quite a large amount. Although that eraser is very good and convenient, I think I honestly like not having it better. Will I get more refills of it? Probably not. They're expensive. So I probably won't use Tiny anymore. Unless I get some for Christmas, but that's different. Even then, I'm gonna try to not use that eraser as nearly as much. Alright. That's definitely not perfectly aligned, but I think it's fine. Alright, go ahead and go like this. Now, what's gonna be in here? Well, what else but a gem? A gemstone. This curve is definitely not perfect, but I don't care. It's fine. This point could also be much farther out, considering where the blades are on that thing. But I think it's fine. Looks pretty good. Definitely could have made it a little bigger. I kind of did forget that I was gonna add 2 of those to actually, that's why it doesn't, the point's not tall enough. But I think that's fine. I could probably add some details like onto the blade too, like add little things like this, like little outlines, which I don't even know if you can see those outlines in the picture, but I don't think I'm gonna. Alright, let's try and take it back to this blade now. Alright. What are we doing for this blade now? Now it's looking kind of like a wing. Alright, hold on. Ka-chow. Make a big one there. Why? I don't know. I'm gonna split it actually. It's looking more like a wing than a weapon. Not liking it. We're gonna erase it. I still want to put something there. What I want to put there is still a large fantasy weapon. Because, well, I still like large weapons, even though they make no sense. Also, I did just remember, you can probably see the friggin' that line, paper under there. That's because this is the last page of my sketchbook. What am I doing? Oh yeah, big weapon, big weapon. Or should I do a really tiny weapon? It would be pretty funny to draw a pretty tiny weapon when I was doing big weapon there. What if I do knife? Knife, like... Let's make knife. Knife. Wow, look at knife. Knife looks so knife. Alright, now watch this. We're going to turn this knife into something magical. I don't feel like pulling out the other eraser, so it's going to kind of disappear, but that's fine. We're going to grab a mechanical pencil because I don't feel like sharpening my other one. Alright, watch this. Knife is going to turn into something magical. We're going to put the blade like that, do that. Get this there. We'll go ahead and try and go like that a little bit so that the back is like ribbed or whatever. Go like that. Trying to just come up with details for the knife, basically. Go like that. And then like that. Yeah, sure. Some little squares in here, you know, for weight. Just like we were talking about with the sword over there. Cut that off. Do that. Alright, hold on. I put those a little too close. That's fine. Alright, do that. Do that. And there we go. Get these ribs like in here basically. There we go. There we go. There we go. Kind of looks like bug to me. I want to draw some bugs. I should definitely draw some bugs soon. I really like bugs, but I haven't really drawn many bugs because they're a little complicated and I'm kind of dumb. But you know, I could try them out. I could try drawing some out, you know. Alright, we're gonna shade this part in. We could like add a wrap on this thing because it kind of looks a little bad. Add a wrap on it. Just, I don't know, somebody put a wrap on it for no reason, really. Yeah, sure, I'm not actually gonna shade that wrap in, but... I mean, I'm not gonna finish shading that in. It's beautiful! Yeah, I tried. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Let's draw a random line and turn this line into a sword. And then we'll be done with the video. Alright. There we go. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and close that off and get this thing connected to a handle. What type of handle? What type of handle do you think would fit with a sword like this? There we go. I accidentally rounded that line way too much, but it's fine. There we go. Perfect. This is gonna be like a I don't know, a 1.5 or two-handed sword. Perfect. Yeah, looks pretty good. Definitely not amazing or anything, but pretty good. I guess I should probably add some detail to the blade, though, considering it is just random lines. So, let's try and do that. Add some gradient to it, basically. From up here to down there. There we go, that's good. This part right here, fix that a little. Like that a little more. Add a couple lines in here too. Basically, yeah, looks good. Alright. That's good too. That's not perfect, but I think that's good. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I'm just kind of adding random stuff if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, I don't really know what else I would even be able to add, so... Yeah, I think we're just going to be done here. I don't know what that is, but I think it looks kind of cool, so... yeah. I didn't mean to smudge that one so much, but I very much smudged that away. Ow, that kind of hurt. It landed on me. Bye. I'm gonna go kill the Ender Dragon.